Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and over the last few weeks on this channel, we've been covering various major features of the next WoW expansion, The War Within. Everything from its open world endgame content progression of the Delves, filled with new challenges to tackle as a solo player or with a group of friends, as well as the ability to earn seasonal endgame open world rewards. We also covered the Warband's alt management system, which makes the experience of playing multiple characters that much more cohesive, with the focus shifted towards the player behind the character rather than on personal character progression. We even covered the new system of hero talents, which will be how our classes will be able to expand on their class identity and fantasy with a variety of talent subspecs to further modify your endgame progression. However, the War Within announcement has had other smaller features revealed during their presentation at BlizzCon, with many of the smaller features and quality of life changes not really gaining too much time within the spotlight. And today I wanted to highlight some of these smaller, maybe even lesser known features and quality of life adjustments to the War Within expansion and do a bit of a deep dive on everything we know about all of these smaller details so far. And if the 2024 roadmap is accurate, it seems that we may even be able to encounter all of these features during the early alpha testing, which may be just right around the corner. So with that in mind, let's go over some of these smaller features and quality of life updates arriving with the release of the next expansion, which should hopefully be ready for testing sometime in the very near future. But right before that, most of you guys watching these kinds of War Within update videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do, so let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you want to get more regular content regarding the next upcoming World of Warcraft expansion, The War Within. In no particular order, let's first start off by going over the very new allied race arriving with The War Within. Similar to the expansion like Battle for Azeroth, this is an allied race, which isn't necessarily a new race like the Pandaren of Pandaria or the Drakthir of the Dragonflight, but rather a race-adjacent option that will be available with the next expansion. This new allied race of the Earthen Dwarves will be available for both factions of the Alliance or Horde. They will have access to every single class in the game besides Druids, Demon Hunters, or the new Evokers. They will also have their own unique racials as well, though what those racial passive and active abilities are is still unknown. This allied race of the Earthen Dwarves will be quite easy to unlock. Unlike the previous allied races, which required story quest signs as well as reputation grinds, all you will need to do to unlock the Earthen is to finish the main story chapters campaign of the War Within leveling. As I mentioned earlier, this isn't necessarily a new feature, as we've had allied races towards the end of Legion, as well as all throughout the expansion of Battle for Azeroth. In comparison, allied races are not nearly as unique as a brand new race option, such as the Draenei or the Bloodos added back in TBC, or the Pandaren added in Mists of Pandaria, or the recently added Drakthir Evokers. And while visually they may be familiar to some of the already present options, except for maybe the Kultiran unique skeleton and model, allied races still offer quite a bit of variety, with it is the ability to unlock a brand new heritage set by leveling a brand new allied race to a certain level, or getting access to a whole new set of passive and active racial options, which can actually have some sort of an impact on how the class plays, where there's a clear stark difference between a gnome mage and a mecha gnome mage in terms of the passives and active skills that they both get to utilize. Another feature of Battle for Azeroth is the fact that we got multiple allied races throughout an expansion. Now, this has not been confirmed for the War Within, but it's always a possibility, since allied races are usually much easier to develop than a brand new race option. The next feature worth covering is dynamic flying, which is basically the dragon riding system of Dragonflight just expanded beyond just dragons, as other models such as griffins, phoenixes, and even other steeds such as Invincible get the ability to use dynamic flying in all open world zones of Azeroth. The main idea is to bring dynamic flying to as many mounts as possible, and on the BlizzCon stage, they announced that at least 100 mount models should have access to dynamic flying by the time the War Within launches. Like I mentioned earlier, dynamic flying will become available in every single zone in Azeroth, as well as the new zone of Khazalgar, which will be the very first place that you'll visit when you start your War Within leveling experience. Dynamic flight will be the default flying system for players going forward once the War Within officially launches. This means that new players that reach a certain level will immediately get access to dynamic flying on the lower level characters. But to make the dynamic flying system a little bit more evergreen, some of the dragon riding glyphs that help enhance your flying by giving you access to more vigor charges as well as other types of aerial bonuses, all of these things will be unlocked passively while you level your character. However, dynamic flight isn't for everyone. Whether because of accessibility or you simply enjoy the original TBC mode of transportation, you will be able to switch between dynamic flying and TBC flying with a toggle once the dynamic flight system is implemented with the new expansion. Another smaller feature that doesn't get a lot of spotlight is a brand new BG that's arriving with the next expansion. For now, this battleground map doesn't really have a name, but we do know that it will be a 10v10 instance that kind of functions like Silver Shard Mines. The two factions of Alliance and Horde will be encouraged to fight over a control point in the center, while at the same time pushing their own minecarts towards the finishing line. And the battleground will be ready for testing during the alpha of the War Within. On the BlizzCon floor, they also mentioned that they want to keep adding new battleground maps regularly throughout the War Within, and they also want to put in more effort towards working on this solo battleground queue rated mode, which will hopefully be fully functional or partially functional either by the very first or the very next update of the next expansion. Another smaller feature that doesn't get a lot of spotlight is an interface update of the War Within, starting with the spellbook, which is now going to share a tab with the talents. The spellbook itself is a little bit wider now and has other convenience features just like the talents, such as a search bar in order to help you find your abilities much easier, as well as a hide passive section if you want to take away some of the clutter when looking for some of your specific abilities. Quest markers will also see a bit of a revamp within your map, mostly to update the overall aesthetic, but also to differentiate between the main quests, side quests, daily quests, and the like. Finally, one of the biggest quality of life convenience features coming out in the War Within will be cross-realm guilds, which, as the name suggests, will allow you to apply and recruit any player on any realm as long as it's within your region. The idea behind making guilds cross-realm is similar to how warbands are designed, which are meant to be a cross-realm feature that unifies all of your characters. With warbands being cross-realm, guilds also becoming cross-realm to help unify all of the players under the same banner. This both makes it easier for you to find new players to join the guild, as now the pool of players you get to pick from is way beyond just the limitations of your own realm. But also those of you looking to find a guild to start raiding in will have a much easier time joining, since you no longer have the hurdle of potentially playing on a smaller realm and feeling like you have to move to a high population realm in order to find more options that can fill your preference. And with guilds becoming cross-realm, this means that Mythic cross-realm raiding is going to be enabled starting day 1 of the Mythic progression, which adds another layer of convenience for guilds and raiders to utilize going forward. And for now, this is going to be everything we have so far for all of the smaller features as well as some of the quality of life adjustments coming to the War Within. I want to thank all of you so much for watching this video and hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single video and live stream, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video or hang out with the rest of the community to discuss some of the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. And as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.